Welcome, everyone. Today we're going on a deep dive.
Ooh, a deep dive.
Yeah, into South Korea's digital economy.
Sounds fascinating.
It is, and we'll be guided by a report from the International Trade Administration
Okay.
called Korea Digital Economy. Pretty straightforward.
Straight to the point.
Yeah, it was just released on September 19th this year, so it's got all the latest info.
Fresh off the press.
Now, you probably already know that South Korea is kind of a tech giant, right?
Oh, yeah. Samsung, LG, big names.
Exactly. But today we're going to go deeper than just the big names.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
For example, did you know that South Korea has the fastest internet speeds in the entire world?
Really? I did not know that.
And that because of all that connectivity, it's become a huge target for cyber attacks.
Oh, wow. That's a downside I hadn't considered.
Yeah, so we're going to look at both the opportunities and the challenges of Korea's digital world,
Sounds like a balanced approach.
giving you a clearer picture of what's really happening over there. Think of it like your insider's guide to a market that is seriously shaping the future of tech.
Can't wait to dive in.
Me too.
So this report lays out some key strengths that are behind Korea's digital success.
Okay, like what?
Well, they have amazing ICT infrastructure, a population that's super comfortable with technology, and a ton of investment in things like AI and cybersecurity.
Wow, it's like they've got all the ingredients for a digital revolution.
Right.
And how do these strengths help Korean companies compete?
Yeah.
Do they have an edge?
Oh, definitely. You see them at the forefront of things like mobile gaming and e-commerce.
Globally or just in Korea?
Not just domestically. They're making waves globally.
Interesting.
And it's not only the big companies either.
Oh, right, the startups.
The report talks about a vibrant startup ecosystem that's always pushing the limits.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit and talk about the challenges.
Sure.
The report doesn't shy away from some of the hurdles, especially for U.S. companies who are trying to break into that market.
I can imagine.
One that stood out to me was the issue of cross-border data transfer for reinsurance institutions.
Yes. That's a tough one. There's a conflict between Korean regulations and their obligations under the Chorus Free Trade Agreement.
Of course.
Yeah, which makes it really hard for U.S. companies in that sector to transfer information outside of Korea.
It's almost like a maze they have to navigate.
A bureaucratic maze that costs them time and money.
For sure. And it brings up some big questions about data sovereignty.
Absolutely. Countries are getting more protective of their citizens' data, and Korea is no exception.
So U.S. companies need to be extra careful with all the legal and regulatory details.
They need to be savvy.
Another challenge the report mentions is cybersecurity, specifically in public procurement. Korea has these extra cybersecurity certification requirements called SES,
SES.
on top of the International Common Criteria Recognition Arrangement certifications, or CCRA.
Right on top.
So it's like having a driver's license from one country and having to retake the test in another.
Even though you're already qualified.
It's a huge obstacle for U.S. companies, just another layer of complexity and cost.
Makes sense.
And get this, Korea actually prefers their own encryption algorithms, ARIA and SEED,
Area and seed.
over the globally used Advanced Encryption Standard AES.
Interesting choice.
It really shows the tension between national security and open global markets.
For sure, they want to protect their infrastructure, but these requirements can stifle innovation and competition.
Right.
It's a trade-off.
They did try to relax some of these restrictions in 2022.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with a 3-tiered scheme, but most public procurement still falls under the tighter regulations.
So it's a step in the right direction, but
It's still a long way to go.
yeah, for U.S. companies, it's a delicate balancing act.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about where those cybersecurity and data localization issues really come into play: public sector procurement and cloud computing.
Okay.
The report looks at the Cloud Security Assurance Program, or CSA, which has some strict requirements for cloud service providers. Well, things like physically separate facilities within Korea and storing data locally.
I see how that would be tough for foreign providers.
It basically gives Korean companies a big advantage and makes it really hard for U.S. cloud providers to compete.
A home field advantage.
But there might be a glimmer of hope. Korea is currently looking at the CSA,
Really?
and they might align it with international standards like FedRAMP.
That would be huge.
It could open up so many opportunities in a market that's currently pretty closed off.
Fingers crossed.
It seems like data localization is a big theme here. The report also points out the Act on the Establishment and Management of Spatial Data, which restricts exporting location-based data.
Interesting example.
Think about a company like Google Maps trying to give traffic updates or navigation services in Korea.
Right.
They'd have to jump through so many more hoops than their Korean competitors because they need to export that data.
A definite disadvantage.
It's definitely something to keep an eye on. These policies are popping up everywhere. The report also briefly mentions technology barriers to internet services as a challenge,
Okay,
but it doesn't go into much detail.
we'll have to stay tuned for more on that.
But hey, let's not dwell on the challenges. Let's talk about the exciting opportunities in this market.
Yes, let's shift gears. I was about to say it's not all doom and gloom. This report highlights some really promising sectors that are ripe for growth in Korea.
Okay, I'm ready for some good news. Where should we start?
Let's start with cybersecurity. I think that's a big one.
Okay.
Korea's crazy high level of connectivity makes them a major target for cyber attacks.
I can imagine.
In fact, the report says that in 2022, South Korea faced an average of 1.2 million hacking attempts every single day.
1.2 million a day. That's insane.
It is, isn't it? It really highlights the scale of the problem and why cybersecurity is booming in Korea.
Definitely. So how big is the cybersecurity market over there?
Well, the report estimates it was about $4.3 billion in 2022, and it's been growing at a rate of 12% each year for the past 4 years.
Wow, that's a lot of growth.
And it's not slowing down anytime soon.
So any company operating in Korea really needs to take this seriously.
Absolutely, like cybersecurity is non-negotiable.
And it sounds like the government's on board too.
Oh yeah, they've rolled out a national cybersecurity strategy, and they're actively looking for partners.
Partners.
Foreign companies with the expertise to help them beef up their defenses.
Makes sense. So U.S. cybersecurity firms have a real opportunity here.
Huge opportunity.
What would you say to a U.S. company wanting to enter this market?
Well, first off, understanding the local requirements of those certification processes we talk about is key.
Right, those hurdles.
And finding a local Korean firm to partner with can be a smart move.
Like a local guide.
Exactly. Someone who knows the ins and outs of the market.
Great advice.
Oh.
Okay, let's move on to the next opportunity. What about artificial intelligence?
AI is massive in Korea.
Yeah.
The big companies like Samsung, LG Naver, or KT, they're all pouring money into AI research and development.
It sounds like they're really embracing it.
We're leading the charge, really.
The report mentions some impressive growth predictions for Korea's AI market.
Yes, IDC predicts Korea will spend something like $2 billion on AI this year in 2023, and that'll jump to $3.4 billion by 2027.
Wow, so almost double.
A compound annual growth rate of 15% in the future is definitely AI-powered in Korea.
And it's not just the big companies, it's the government too, right?
Oh yeah, the government is fostering a really strong AI startup ecosystem. They see the potential.
The report mentioned large language models or generative AI and explainable AI as particularly promising areas.
Those are hot topics right now, and U.S. companies with expertise in those areas could really find a market in Korea.
So those are some niches to keep an eye on.
Definitely.
Okay, speaking of hot markets, the report also goes into cloud computing in Korea.
Yeah, cloud computing is another area that's exploding over there. Gartner estimates the market to be about $5 billion this year in 2023.
A 24% increase from last year.
Exactly. Korean companies are adopting cloud services like crazy.
So are the big global players already there?
Oh yeah. AWS, Microsoft, and Google, they're all well established in Korea.
So is there any room left for U.S. companies?
Absolutely. There's still a growing demand for specialized services. So U.S. companies that offer things like SaaS solutions or cloud management expertise, they have a real shot.
So there's more to it than meets the eye.
Definitely, it's a nuanced market.
For our listeners who want to learn more about these opportunities, the report also mentions some key digital economy trade events.
Oh yeah, those events are a gold mine for insights and networking.
Okay, hit us with some names.
Well, for cybersecurity, there's SICON and EGSES and the International Security Conference for AI. There's AI Expo Korea and AI Korea AI World Congress. And for cloud computing, there's the Grand Cloud Conference and Cloud Expo Korea.
Wow, that's a lot of events.
And for those interested in semiconductors, there's Semicon Korea and SEDEX.
We'll make sure to put links to those in the show notes.
Great idea.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. The opportunities in cybersecurity, AI, cloud computing, the challenges of data localization cybersecurity requirements.
A whirlwind tour.
But I think we're getting a clearer picture of what makes Korea's digital economy so unique.
We are, but we're not done yet. There's still so much to explore.
Like what?
Well, we haven't even touched on e-commerce. And Korea is a true leader in that space.
Ah, yes, e-commerce, one of the biggest and most sophisticated e-commerce markets in the world.
Exactly, and it's not just about the size.
Hmm.
Korean e-commerce is known for being super innovative and user-friendly.
It's like they've taken online shopping to a whole new level.
They really have.
So what's behind this e-commerce dominance in Korea? Is it just the tech-savvy population and the fast internet?
Those are big factors for sure, but there's more to it. Korean consumers are incredibly comfortable shopping online, and the pandemic really accelerated that trend.
Makes sense. Online shopping became a necessity for many during that time.
Exactly. But I think what really sets Korean e-commerce apart is the focus on the user experience.
Okay, I'm curious. Can you give us some examples? Okay, give us the inside scoop. What makes Korean e-commerce so special?
Well, they've got everything you could want. Personalized recommendations, seamless payment options, super fast delivery, and even live streaming shopping events.
Live streaming.
Yeah, you can interact with influencers in real time.
Wow, that's next
It's
level.
like they've made online shopping not just convenient, but actually fun.
I can see that.
And this has led to some fierce competition between the big players. You've got the homegrown giants like Coupang, Naver, Shopping Gmarket, all battling it out.
A real showdown.
Plus, international companies like Amazon and Alibaba are trying to get a piece of the pie.
So it's a crowded market.
It is, but that's good for consumers. It keeps everyone on their toes, drives innovation, and keeps prices down.
Competition is good.
Exactly now. In terms of trends,
Yeah, what's hot in Korean e-commerce?
mobile commerce or ARM commerce is huge.
Hmm.
Over 60% of all e-commerce transactions happen on smartphones.
Wow, that's a lot.
Then there's social commerce, using social media platforms for shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Think Instagram shops or influencer marketing.
Ah, so that's where all those ads come in.
Exactly. And then there's live streaming commerce or live commerce that's gaining popularity, especially with younger shoppers.
So Korean e-commerce is a real testing ground for new ideas.
It's fascinating to watch.
For our business-minded listeners, what does all this e-commerce activity mean for them?
Well, if you're looking to enter the Korean market, you absolutely need a strong online presence.
So a good website or app?
More than just good, it needs to be well-designed, optimized for Korean consumers and their high expectations.
No cutting corners.
Exactly. And logistics are crucial. Korean consumers expect fast and reliable delivery, so a good logistics partner is a must.
Makes sense. Speed is everything.
And don't underestimate the power of working with local e-commerce platforms or influencers. They have the audience and the know-how to help you navigate the market.
So partnerships are key.
It's a complex market.
It's fascinating to see how e-commerce is not just changing retail, but impacting other sectors too.
Oh yeah, it's a ripple effect. It's driving growth in things like fintech, logistics, digital marketing.
A real catalyst.
Yeah, it's a catalyst for innovation and job creation. But of course, there are challenges. The market is super competitive, and the regulations can be tricky, especially for foreign companies.
So high risk, high reward.
Pretty much.
Okay, before we move on, we have to talk about another area where Korea excels: the mobile gaming industry.
Ah, yes. Korea is like the heartland of competitive gaming and esports.
They're known for it.
There are a few key things that have made them so dominant in this space.
Well, their internet speed has to be a huge advantage.
It is. It means lag-free gaming, which is essential.
For sure.
And their crazy high smartphone penetration means almost everyone has a gaming device right in their pocket.
True. So access is easy.
But I think what really sets Korea apart is the cultural significance of gaming. It's seen as a real form of entertainment, not just a hobby, and there's a strong competitive spirit.
Yeah, esports events in Korea are massive.
There are huge crowds, big money. It's a whole other level of fandom.
And that passionate gaming culture has helped some major Korean gaming companies become successful.
Oh, absolutely. Companies like Netmarble, NCSoft, Nexon, they're producing hit games that are played by millions around the world.
Global phenomenon.
And they're not just making games, they're creating entire ecosystems around them with in-game events, virtual economies, social communities, and of course, esports leagues.
It's like a whole virtual world.
It is, and it's not just entertainment, it's having a serious impact on Korea's economy.
So it's a big deal.
The mobile gaming industry is worth billions. It's creating jobs, attracting investment, driving technological innovation.
Pretty impressive.
And it's also boosting Korea's soft power, with Korean games and esports stars gaining global recognition.
Like cultural ambassadors.
Exactly. They're showcasing Korean creativity and talent to the world. But of course, no industry is without its challenges. The Korean mobile gaming market is incredibly competitive, and there are concerns about things like gaming addiction.
Right. Those are important issues.
But overall, it's a success story. It shows how Korea can combine technological innovation with cultural trends to build a thriving industry.
Definitely a model for others to learn from.
I think so. Now, with all this talk about digital innovation, let's shift gears and talk about another fascinating sector that's booming in Korea, fintech.
Fintech, that's where the traditional financial institutions are clashing with these disruptive startups.
Right. It's a real battle for the future of finance.
It's like we're witnessing a digital tug of war.
Exactly.
So what's driving this fintech frenzy in Korea?
Well, it's a combination of things. You've got a population that's super comfortable with technology, a high rate of smartphone use, and a government that's actively promoting fintech innovation.
They see the potential.
I do. They see it as a key driver of economic growth and financial inclusion.
So Korea is embracing the disruption.
They are. They're not afraid of it.
Are they seeing any real results from these efforts?
Oh, for sure. Korea has quickly become a global fintech hub, attracting investment talent attention from all over the world.
So they're on the map.
They are. It's a hotbed of activity.
So where are we seeing the most action in Korea's fintech scene? What areas are really taking off?
Well, one area that's practically everywhere in Korea is mobile payments. It's totally changed how people make transactions.
Everyone's using their phones to pay for everything.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, from their morning coffee to taxi rides to online purchases, it's everywhere.
It sounds like cash is becoming a thing of the past in Korea.
It's definitely on the decline.
Is there one dominant mobile payment platform, or are there multiple players?
There are actually several competing platforms like Samsung, Pay Kakao, Pay Neighbor Pay, all vying for users.
So a real competition.
It is. And that's good for consumers. It gives them choices, rewards programs, and the freedom to just tap their phone to pay.
Convenience is key.
Absolutely.
What about digital banking? Are the traditional banks feeling the heat from these fintech disruptors?
Oh, yeah, they're definitely feeling the pressure. They're realizing they need to embrace digital transformation if they want to stay relevant.
Evolve or die.
Pretty much, they're rolling out mobile banking apps, online loan applications, personalized financial management tools.
They're trying to keep up.
Exactly. But they're not just playing catch-up. They're also facing competition from a new breed of challenger banks.
Challenger banks?
Yeah, like Toss and Kakao Bank. They're designed from the ground up to be sleek and user-friendly digital banking experiences.
So it's a double whammy for those established banks.
It is. They have to adapt to the digital age and fight off these agile newcomers.
It's a tough spot to be in.
It is. It makes for a very dynamic banking scene in Korea. And it's not just mobile payments and digital banking that are shaking things up. Another area that's gaining traction is robo-advisors.
Robo-advisors, those AI-powered platforms that give automated financial advice?
Exactly.
Are they popular in Korea?
They are, especially among younger generations who are comfortable with tech and looking for affordable investment options.
Makes sense.
It's like having a personal financial advisor without the high fees.
Oh, I can see the appeal.
It democratizes financial planning in a way.
Now, we can't talk about fintech without mentioning blockchain. Is Korea exploring that too?
Oh, yeah. Korea is actually a leader in blockchain technology. They've got government initiatives and private sector investments, driving innovation in things like cryptocurrency, supply chain management, digital identity.
So they're not holding back?
Nope, they're all in. They see the potential.
It's impressive.
It is.
Now, for our listeners who are entrepreneurs or investors, what kind of opportunities does Korea's fintech scene offer?
Well, the market is ripe for disruption. There's still plenty of room for new players who can find unmet needs and come up with innovative solutions.
So it's about thinking outside the box?
Exactly. Finding those niche markets or underserved demographics that are being overlooked.
Smart.
And don't forget about partnerships. Collaborating with local players can give you valuable insights, access to networks, and a much better understanding of the regulations.
Partnerships are key. It seems like a recurring theme.
They are in a market as complex as Korea's.
Now, are there any challenges specific to the fintech sector that our listeners should be aware of?
Of course, navigating the regulatory hurdles is always a challenge, especially in finance. There are also concerns about data security and privacy, which are top of mind for everyone.
Striking that balance.
Yeah, between innovation and consumer protection.
Tough, but important.
It is. But overall, Korea's fintech industry is incredibly promising. It's a vibrant and exciting space with huge potential for those who are willing to embrace the challenges and the opportunities.
It sounds like Korea is really at the forefront of this global fintech revolution.
They are. And what we've explored today is just a glimpse into the amazing energy of Korea's digital economy. They're not just keeping up with technology, they're actively shaping the future of how we work and interact with the world.
Wow, that's a big statement.
But it's true.
It's been a fascinating journey learning about their blazing fast internet, their thriving e-commerce, their dominance in mobile gaming, and their embrace of cutting-edge technologies like AI and blockchain.
A real digital powerhouse.
And it leaves us with a lot to think about as Korea continues to push the boundaries of the digital world. What lessons can other countries learn from their successes? How can we all work together to create a more inclusive, innovative, and sustainable digital future?
Those are some big
They
questions.
are, but they're important ones.
Absolutely.
We hope this deep dive into Korea's digital economy has been insightful and maybe even inspired some of you to learn more.
It's a testament to Korea's entrepreneurial spirit, their tech-savvy culture, and their forward-thinking approach to digital transformation.
It's a story that's still being written, and we can't wait to see what the next chapter holds. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring the ever-evolving world of technology.
See you next time.